Okay, so here we are looking at 7b in chapter 4. Now, it was very helpfully pointed out by another YouTuber called Chicken Nugget that I had made a mistake on it in my transpose. Basically, I said what you need to do is you need to take the graph and you need to move it for an f of x plus 2. That will move the whole graph 2 places to the left. And so I've taken my graph like this and copied and pasted it, and I had moved it 1 place there, so you can see the root from 3, 0 has changed to 2, 0, and then I moved it here and got 1, 0, and said, there you are, that's all done. But you can see that puts my graph then cutting through the x-axis at -2. But if you just bring it back to the start position when it's on 1, okay, and now looking at the left-hand root, okay, of 1, 0, when I transpose it 1 place, 0, 0, and then 2 places, it should be on -1, 0. Basically, if you now look at my graph with a bit more detail, okay, you can see that my scale here is drawn incredibly badly in terms of they're nowhere near equal. So what should it do? It should move the point of 3, 0, 2 places to the left, 1, 2. So that would be my new right-hand root, and it should move my left-hand root of 1, 0, 2 places to the left, so 0, 0, -1, 0, and be there. In terms of the minimum point, again, that should also move 2 places, so instead of it being 2 minus 1, moves over to 1 minus 1, and then 0 minus 1. So it should be here. And you can see now that this is a completely different looking graph. Again, I'm going to redraw that one. A completely different looking graph going through those points, because it should literally be mirroring the black line really in terms of its shape and space, but because of my terrible axis on here, it hasn't. Okay, now in terms of where its new points are, okay, we have said that it's got new roots at -1, 0, and also 1, 0, and it has a minimum now of 0, -1. Okay, in the next part, I had actually drawn the roots in the correct places, but then drew my roots in completely wrong place. Because it's an f of 2x, that's going to have the effect of squashing the graph by a factor of a half. So you're going to end up with something like this graph being half the width of what it is. So the black line is going to squash up and be half the width. And basically, if we take this point here, it's 3. Half of 3 is 3 over 2. Okay, so we end up with 3 over 2 and 0, which would be 1.5, which is here, 3 over 2. And we also have the original point of 1, 0, which becomes half, or 1 over 2 over 2, 0. So there's the two new roots, which would be just in here of a half. And you can see then that it's going to draw it through. Now, in terms of the minimum, it's not going to affect the depth of the y, so it's still going to come down to -1. And so it's going to come down here, be -1, and curl back up here, so squash it really tight in there. Where's the point? Somewhere is going to be the midway point between a half and 1.5, which is 1. Okay, so the minimum for that blue graph there is 1 and -1. Okay, and that's the update to question 7b. Thank you very much again for pointing out my mistake. If you find any others, let me know.